And you know what? We might as well get it in with our first topic that we have on today's show. As you see at the bottom of your screen, the ticker, okay, Brittney Griner is home, and we're going to talk about that right now. Was the Brittney Griner prison swap a good deal for America? Now, I'm actually going to start this one off first. I want to, tap myself in here, get a nice, easy bucket to start off the show. First off, I want to congratulate Brittney Garner for just maintaining in the conditions that she was in. I happened to look online and I saw some of the images of how she was living. And that's not a place that I would wish on anybody, not even my worst enemy. And I don't really have enemies, but there's some people that call me an enemy. I don't wish it on them, right? And so I'm glad that she's home. I respect the human. I'm the type of individual. I don't care about names. I don't care about accolades. I don't care about what you do. That doesn't faze me. I know America and people in America may look at it from that perspective. This is a WNBA play. I don't care about that. I care about individuals. I hold everybody to the same standard. So as the person, Brittney Griner, I'm glad that she was back, home. She's back home now, currently. With that being said, to answer the question and the way how the question is worded, I don't think America won the trade because they should have got a 2-for-1. They should have got a 2-for-1 trade swap. Now, I believe the guy that was swapped in for Brittney Griner was a guy named Victor. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he was serving a 25-year prison sentence in the U.S. on charges of conspiring to kill Americans, providing material to terrorist organizations, obviously a menace to society, obviously a danger to society. Brittney Griner was in jail for no such crime, marijuana possession. I don't like the rules. I don't believe the rules is fair. And I know a lot of people said, "Yo, she broke the rules." That doesn't make the rules fair, right? There were some rules that were enforced in this country recently that I don't think was constitutional, right? So that's where that kind of conversation gets dicey because yes, the rules are the rules and it's there to follow, but that doesn't make the rules right. And the reason why I bring that up was because of you're not allowed to do that in Russia, bring in marijuana, da da da. But that doesn't make it right. That sentence is terrible for that offense, right? But I think there was another dude, not I think there was another cat named Paul Whelan, a retired Marine who was in prison in Russia for nearly 4 years, serving a 16-year sentence for spying in Russia, and was also in negotiations, and the U.S. wasn't able to bring him home. So when you talk about the guy that they let go to Russia, the danger, you have to bargain better than that. You got to go for that 2-for-1. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people have a problem with just that guy getting let go to Russia and Brittney Griner coming in for that guy. But if you're going to allow a danger to society to walk, you need to bring both people home. Okay. And I just didn't feel that they won that trade because I'm also looking out for every individual. When you talk about a spy from the US, that means he was sent there to do a job. You leave him there in the process. And he was there before. So to answer the question, and I come back for my second lap after you guys go, I don't believe America won the trade. I'm happy that Brittney Griner is home, and it's a great day for Brittney Griner and her family. But it's also a sad day in America because it shows me that we don't have the right person in office in Joe Biden, and it's a
Mm,
shame.
mm. Man, you said a lot right there. Did America win the deal? No, they didn't win the deal. Right? You can't win the deal like you just said, like you just stated. A menace to society, the man that was sentenced 25 to life. Okay, this is the man that's going to harm people, multiple people, plotting to harm multiple people, plotting to take down America, partially take down America, whatever way you want to spin it. Like you said, Brittney Griner, who was playing in the WNBA, was playing basketball in Russia. She wasn't a menace to society to Russia. She was bringing entertainment to Russia, right? She wasn't doing nothing to harm no one. Even if you said the drugs was illegal, whatever you want to say, if you think that's harmful to herself, right? She was just doing something or taking medication for herself. So she was not a menace to society in Russia. He was a menace to society here. Clearly, it's not an even trade. But here's the thing. Optics. From an optics perspective, they played politics. And when they played politics, because she's in the WNBA and because there was a cry out for her, there's pressure people from the NBA. Maybe the WNBA should have stopped playing. Maybe the NBA should have stopped playing, right? But no, they didn't do that. And maybe behind the scenes, maybe they threatened to do that. I don't think they did. But the fact that she was an athlete, it's optics. We did a great thing. And let me show you what we did as America, from United States of America. We brought Brittney Griner home. Like you said, she's been in Russia since February, if I'm not mistaken, right, of last year. And we got a guy who was a spy sent over there who's been there for years. Okay? So nobody really know him, though. You know what I'm saying? He's not in the public eye. So since he's not in the public eye, we can leave him there unless you're going to really dig in deep like you did, Cuzzo, and figure that out. Otherwise, optics says, we won the trade. Brittney Griner's finally home. Was we crying for the spy of the past 3 years? Nobody even talked about this guy. You follow me? So since nobody was talking about this dude,
I bet you people don't even know that that's a thing. Like he's there.
Right. Unless you was into the fine tune of it, you know what I mean? That they was trying. This was the big thing. They was trying to get the 2-for-1, right? They was trying to get that 2-for-1, but they settled for the 1-on-1 because of optics. Optics told them, yo, we need to do this and we need to do it now, because if we go into this debate and lose to Russia with a 0 and Brittney Griner is still there, from an optics perspective, we look horrible. So they just trying to make themselves look good, not trying to do the right thing, if that makes sense. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, no, we lost that deal. It was a horrible deal, but we are happy for Brittney Griner. Let me know. Don't get it twisted. I'm happy that she's home. So I'm not hating on her and I wanted her to stay there. No, please do not make this. Please do not take my words and go that far with it. I do not want Brittney Griner there. She didn't deserve to be there from the jump. But at the end of the day, United States let us down.
Y'all both have fantastic takes. I think the one thing I do want to kind of hammer the point on is optics, right? What it looks like and what it appears. But we have to understand that is everything what politics means today. It's all about what looks good, not about what's good for the public. What's good for everyone is what looks great to everyone. What's the appearance? What's the perception? Yep. So in this regard, how I view what politics is, I'm saying this is a good trade because Brittney Griner coming home was the biggest optic. I think if you would have left Brittney Griner there and brought home the spy, the guy who went to spy on Russia, it would have been like, why would you bring him back when you should have brought back Brittney Griner, when she's the one who just went to play basketball and wanted to come home and was told she couldn't come home because she had a vape pen, which was illegal in Russia, but she had a vape pen. It doesn't make anything better when Russia and America are going back and forth in feuds, ultimately preparing for another war, essentially, against each other. So that happening alongside of Brittney Griner having the vape pen, they was going to give her the harshest penalties because she was American, because Russia wants to prove a point that there's still a stronghold, there's still a powerhouse, and they want to show their arm, their guns, essentially, and stick it to America. And Brittney Griner, unfortunately, was the best person to show that example too, because of how popular she was in America, how she's in the WNBA, how she is a public figure, an American public figure, and Russia isn't the most friendliest for the LGBTQ community. So it's another thing that and then on top of that, being that a black woman in Russia, another thing. Everything that could have possibly went wrong in this situation went wrong for Brittney Griner, unfortunately. And the fact that she was American, on top of everything, Russia took full advantage of because they wanted to make an example of not to mess with Russia. And they gave her the harshest penalties. They did all this. And, it's disgusting that we have to speak about this in this nation because it shouldn't be spoken about. We should be living in a world of utopia, world of euphoria. Everything is green, everything is great, but it's not. People take advantage, people exploit a lot of different things in this world, and Russia is a prime example of that. And I think you have to bring her home immediately because we talk about the American spy that got captured in Russia. He's probably prepped and prepared. He probably went through a lot of different situations where he could possibly be tortured so that he won't say nothing. Brittney Griner is. She's an innocent bystander that's playing basketball. This woman was playing basketball, and she wasn't just going to be in those situations living in duress, living in these prisons. And we don't know what exactly happened to her in those prisons because it could be like the worst possible scenarios that she probably never speak about again. We don't know if she even played the game of basketball again for what she just went through in prison. So bringing her home was the number one priority. I understand everything y'all both said, though, and you are 100% correct. But when we talk about optics, politics is all about optics. It's all about perception. That's why people keep getting reelected into these seats, even though they should be arrested for the things that they've done. And they
And
back in their chairs. And I say that's why it's a good trade for America.
that's the problem with politics. That's the problem. It's exposed. This exposed politics. So, well, some people may look at it as a good PR move. For those who have a level of common sense, it exposes politics for what it is, a PR move, right? That's basically what it is. Guys that are conning you for your vote. That's what it comes down to. Now, let me ask you this question, Zay, real quickly here. The guy that they let go, Viktor, right? His name is Viktor Bout. I don't know how I didn't know how to pronounce Bout, but Viktor Bout, right? I thought it was some other stuff like esophagus or something like that. It was Bout, Viktor Bout, right? Let's say this guy that they let go who tried to kill Americans, right? Basically a terrorist. They allow him to go back, which he did. What if he comes back, knows a little bit more now that he was locked away here, and he comes back and tries to do something to harm people in this country? We're not thinking about things for that long-term perspective. Like I said, we allowed a criminal to walk. And I'm not saying that I would have had made that deal. I would have went for the 2-for-1. It's an imbalance. It's an unbalanced trade. So, yeah, my main thing would have been, let's bring Brittney Griner home, but let's bring back that spy that, got arrested there. That was working for us. That was a Marine. We got to, and that's another problem, too. We don't look after the people that go and fight for this country. Some of the people that go and fight for this country, they end up homeless. They're not being taken care of. We take care of the celebrities and the athletes more than we do our Marines. And that's kind of the problem. So I'm not mad that they sent this criminal back in return for Gardner, but the Marines should have been coming along with Brittney Griner is the exact point that I'm making, and that's why he lost the trade.
Real quick, Freddie, before we get in here, I just want to make sure that we, just acknowledge the American spy that's mentioned. His name is Paul Whelan. He was the American spy that's currently in prison in Russia that got captured in Russia. Just want to make sure, we're not excluding anyone's names. We're not saying one person is more important than the other. That's not what we're doing here. We're just saying at least I'm just saying, because I don't speak for no one. I'm saying from the optics standpoint, there was a lot of heat on the American government to get Brittney Griner home as soon as possible. Every possible celebrity, every possible athlete was calling for Brittney Griner to come home. That puts a lot of pressure on the American government, especially the people that fund the American government. That puts a lot of pressure on them because they have to make that decision. Okay, what looks great? What's a perception? What looks amazing right now? That's bringing Brittney Griner home. There's a lot of things happening, outside of people's control. And bringing Paul Whelan home, unfortunately, was not the priority for this American government because from a perception standpoint, if they would have brought Paul Whelan home, it would have been the more important thing for the government and to get their assets back and understand what happened to him. But also, it would have been really bad for them because Brittney Griner being back, staying in prison in Russia while someone else coming back would have been the worst case scenario for the American government because perception-wise, it probably would have been riots. And that's exactly what would happen.
Well, quickly, Fred, I'm going to keep this real short and let you get back in there, right? Because, Zay, you making valid points. And I'm not even going to say your argument is wrong. It's a valid point. I see the angle that you took on this. But, like I said, they sent him to do a job. Did they find out what they sent him to do? Because he got locked away. So you sent him over there to spy on something. Did you find out what you wanted to know in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Why did you send him over there? To find out information about something. Did you find out what you wanted to find out?
What really is this. As we talking about optics and perception, Russia played that card right into their hands. They understood we're not going to give you 2-for-1 because y'all feeling pressure from y'all citizens or the powers that be, the people that actually run this country. Y'all feeling pressure from them to bring Brittney Griner home, not this the spy, right? So at the end of the day, Russia played that card. They was never going to go 2-for-1 because they playing you against your own politics, right? They don't have that problem because our citizens don't have a say-so. They don't have a say-so. We make all the decisions. We have no pressure from our citizens. So the fact that y'all deal with pressure, the fact that y'all got to deal with optics, it played right into Russia's hands. So guess what? We give you what we want to give you. No way they was going to do 2-for-1. And that was the pressure from the United States to the point where we're not going to get this 2-for-1. It's either 0 or 1. And they took the 1. So I understood why they did it. but it still was a bad move because the foundation and the way this country is built, and like you said, the way that the citizens can put the pressure on the decision making of the government, and the government is supposed to make decisions for the betterment of the country, not an individual. So they're supposed to make the decision. It's the betterment of the country. They didn't do that. They made it, like you said, Zay, from a PR move. That's all they did. That ain't for the betterment for the country. That's not. PR is what they did. It's like a selfish thing they did, but to make me look good, to make us look good, to make us feel good. Mm-hmm. But honestly, it was a horrible move.
In America, that's an excellent point, because you nailed it home. I don't even know if I could top that second lap that you just gave. But from America's perspective, America is a PR country. Come to America. You know what I'm saying? Land of the free. You know, it's a PR move. Everybody come to America thinking that. And granted, America is better than most countries. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would rather be in America than most countries. But America is the biggest PR country of all time. Right, Claire? And Russia don't care about that. They know they look bad to around the world. They know, you know what I'm saying? They know how long did this cat been in office, Vladimir Putin? Right. Forever, bro. You know what I'm saying? This cat, like, I leave when I want to leave. Donald Trump tried to do that same thing. He got pushed up out of there. He got ran up out of there. He tried to do the same thing. He got, man, get your ass out of here. Putin was like, listen, I'm staying here in this chair, bro. You got to come and get me. You okay? You gonna got to get me out of here. So they don't care about people perception. They don't even care about their own people like that. They don't care about the people's perception. They don't care about nothing. They do what they want, and what they wanted, they got in this trade, and that's why they won the trade.
Absolutely.
And one more point that I'll bring up too, because Michael Parsons, right, and it's related to this topic, the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Oh,
he's actually under fire. He tweeted, well, nah, we left the Marine. Hell nah. In regards to what we just talked about, and he deleted that tweet. He also quickly went on to criticize President Joe Biden. Biden in a tweet replied that has since been deleted as well, saying that, you know, we still not voting for you, in response to the president tweeting that Griner was on her way back to the country. Now, why is it that my man's Michael Parsons had to delete that tweet mad fast? He felt the pressure. The same pressure that America felt. Right? Mm-hmm. If you're the government and you feeling the same pressure as my guy who's a defensive rookie of the year, then that's a problem. America lost his balls, and that's a problem. Like, this is a bad look in a long-term perspective. That shows that you could get pimped out by these other countries. Clear. So when we have situations, now you weak. Man, you know what? Say what you want about Donald Trump, right? And I'm pretty sure we have our opinions on him, and, you know, what we did not like, or some people what we liked about him. But my man's was not getting pimped out, bro. One thing he's shown that he was not getting pimped out. You know what I'm saying? And Biden is not showing that. So take that for what it's worth.